You might not say it out loud, but you've probably wondered it at some point. When do I actually stop being middle class? You work hard, you save, maybe you even make a good income. Yet somehow, it still feels like you're just getting by. The truth is, most people never really know where that invisible line is, the point where you officially step into what society calls upper class. And that's because we usually look at the wrong thing. People assume it's all about income, how much you earn in a year. But income doesn't tell the full story. You can make $200,000 a year and still feel broke if everything you earn goes right back out the door. The real measure of class, and the one the wealthy quietly pay attention to, is net worth. What you own, minus what you owe. That's where the truth about status really hides. In this video, we'll break down the exact net worth that officially puts you in the upper class. We'll look at what that number actually represents, how people reach it, and why it might be more achievable than you think. And if you're serious about building wealth that gives you real freedom, not just higher paychecks, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we're about to unpack the numbers most people never see. Section 1. The confusion around upper class. Let's start with a simple question. What does upper class actually mean? For some people, it's owning a big house and driving luxury cars. For others, it's never worrying about bills or being able to take time off without checking your bank account first. But here's where it gets tricky. Everyone defines it differently. If you go purely by income, it's easy to assume that someone earning $200,000 a year must be upper class. But in reality, many of those same people are drowning in debt, high mortgages, and lifestyle costs that eat every paycheck. Income tells you how fast money flows in. Net worth tells you how much actually stays. That's why wealth researchers don't use income to define class. They use assets minus liabilities. It's the truest reflection of where you stand financially, because the person earning $70,000 a year but saving and investing steadily for 10 years might actually end up wealthier than the one earning triple that, but spending everything. The real dividing line between middle and upper class isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep, how much grows, and how long it lasts. And when we look at the numbers, that line becomes surprisingly clear. Let's break it down. Section 2. The wealth brackets in America. To understand what upper class really means, we first need to see where most people actually stand. According to the Federal Reserve, the median household net worth in the US is around $120,000, meaning half of households are below that mark. Move up a level to the top 25%, and that number climbs to about $500,000. But the real shift happens at the top 10%, where net worth starts around $1 million to $1.2 million. That's the range where the upper class begins to emerge, the point where your assets start earning real income, and your lifestyle no longer depends entirely on your job. Go higher still, and the top 1% begins at roughly $10 million or more in net worth. That's true financial independence, the point where money grows faster than you can spend it. These numbers might sound distant, but they're not unreachable. Because the line between middle and upper class isn't just about wealth, it's about how long you let your money grow. Section 3. The net worth that defines upper class. So, what's the number? At what point can you officially say you've stepped into the upper class? According to the latest Federal Reserve data, you'll need a net worth of around $1.2 million to join the top 10% of households, the group most economists consider upper class. That doesn't mean you're rich in the movie sense. It means you've reached the level where money starts working for you. Your investments, not just your paycheck, begin covering a noticeable part of your lifestyle. Of course, this number shifts by age. If you're in your 30s, a net worth around $300,000 to $400,000 can already place you near the top 10% for your age group. By your 50s or 60s, that upper class line rises closer to that $1 million to $1.5 million range. The key takeaway: being upper class isn't about owning yachts or penthouses. It's about stability, freedom, and control. It's the point where money stops being something you chase and starts becoming something that protects you. Section 4. Why this number feels so out of reach. If $1.2 million sounds impossible, you're not alone. For most people, that number feels like something reserved for the lucky few. business owners, executives, or people who inherited wealth. But the real reason it feels so distant has less to do with income and more to do with time. Most of us live in a cycle where money flows in and out so quickly, there's never enough left to grow. Rising housing costs, student loans, and lifestyle upgrades eat away at what could have become your future wealth. Then there's impatience. We live in a world that celebrates instant results, but wealth doesn't grow that way. Compounding starts painfully slow, invisible at first, and only rewards the ones who stay consistent. And perhaps the biggest reason most people never cross that upper-class line is because they're too focused on looking successful instead of becoming it. They chase the image, the house, the car, the upgrades, all while trading away the one thing that could make them truly wealthy: time in the market. The truth is, reaching that upper-class net worth isn't about earning millions overnight. It's about doing the right things long enough for money to start doing the work for you. Section 5. What being upper class really feels like. Crossing into the upper class isn't marked by a big announcement or a sudden lifestyle change. It doesn't feel like winning the lottery. It feels like calm. You stop worrying about the next bill, the next emergency, or the next paycheck. Your decisions shift from, can I afford this, to, do I even want this? That's the real difference. For most people who get there, life still looks surprisingly normal. They might live in comfortable homes, drive regular cars, and take modest vacations. But behind the scenes, their money is quietly working through investments, index funds, or real estate, producing income even when they rest. What changes most is your mindset. You stop chasing status and start protecting stability. You stop trying to impress people and start buying back your time. That's what being upper class really means. Freedom from financial anxiety, not flashy wealth. It's quiet, it's steady, and it feels like control. Section 6. How to reach the upper class level. So how do people actually get there? How does someone go from struggling to save a few thousand to quietly building a 7-figure net worth? It doesn't start with a massive paycheck. It starts with consistency. The people who reach the upper class rarely make one big leap. They make hundreds of small, smart decisions that compound over time. They live below their means, not because they're frugal for the sake of it, but because they understand the long game. They invest early, automate their savings, and keep buying assets while everyone else buys distractions. They avoid bad debt, they stay patient during market downturns, and they let time do what it does best: multiply effort. And most importantly, they measure progress differently. They don't compare their income to others, they track their net worth. Because once you start watching that number grow, even slowly, something changes. You stop chasing quick wins and start focusing on what really builds wealth: ownership, discipline, and patience. The truth is, anyone can begin that journey. But only those who stay consistent long enough ever see the results. Here's the part no one tells you. When you finally reach the upper class, it won't feel dramatic. There's no finish line, no applause, no single moment where you think, I've made it. Instead, it feels like peace. You'll an unexpected bill, a bill doesn't shake you. When your investments quietly grow faster than you spend. When you realize your time, not your money, has become your most valuable asset. That's the true definition of being upper class. Not luxury, not excess, but freedom. The freedom to choose how you spend your days, who you spend them with, and what kind of life you want to build next. If you're working toward that level, stay patient. It's a long game, but every smart decision compounds. The small savings, the automatic investments, the quiet discipline, they all build momentum. And one day, you'll wake up and realize your money has been working for you all along. So keep learning, keep investing, and keep moving forward. And if you want to keep building that mindset and get closer to financial freedom, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have plenty more videos designed to help you master money, quietly, intelligently, and for the long term.